Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I am so glad that you're here. If this is your first time, welcome. I have some awesome spring book recommendations for you today. It is feeling like spring here. The sky is blue, the sun is bright, it's getting warmer. We're like in the 60s, which is beautiful. There's that slight spring breeze. So I don't know about you, but I am a mood reader. I also read with the season. So it's gonna be spring, so I want to jump into some warmth, growth, cottage core, flowers blooming type of books. That sounds like something you want to pick up. I've got some great recommendations for you. I have them in different type of genres and I'll break them down for you. So, my first book recommendation for the spring is one of my favorites, but it is the classic The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. So, if you have not read this classic, I highly recommend it. It's actually one of the books that really got me into reading as a child. I picked it up and I loved the story. So, I think it was the last year, I loved this book so much that I decided to get the puff and cloth bound edition. So, it is beautiful. And it actually has also a couple of cute little images and drawings here. I'll show you one. Here's one. But it's so beautiful and it means so much to me. So I wanted to get a really beautiful edition. But The Secret Garden, what is it about? So a book about Mary. And Mary was living in India with her parents. But they both died. Kind of a traumatic beginning, if you just maybe FYI read that ahead of time. But she has to move in now with a relative who lives in the English countryside. She has to live there. It's strange. It's new. It's a big estate. And she keeps hearing this strange noise. But every time she asks somebody, everyone evades her question and she doesn't understand why. Um, she meets another character, and I won't spoil too much because it's so beautiful. But the whole point of why this book is such a spring book is that the character is actually growing a garden. She's growing a garden, and there's a gardener there explaining how to do this. But the beautiful thing about the story is the character developments of the characters and how much they change. And it kind of reminds you how spring is a season of growth, of renewal, and it just brings kind of so much hope. By the time you finish it, you're smiling. So highly recommend this one. Okay, so my second book recommendation is The Memory of Lavender Sage by Amy K. Runyon. And I mean, look at this cover. It's beautiful. Clearly, there is lavender involved. But this book is about a food critic called Tempesta. And she lost her mother at a young age. And then a couple years after her father dies as well. So it's just her and her brother. And she realizes that she has a connection in France because their mother was French and their father was American. And she has memories of growing up eating these cuisines and these foods with French flavors. But she has apparently some land or a house or like a estate in France. And it's up to her whether she sells it or whether she decides to do something else with it. But there's this secret you find out about her mother and her past and what did she leave for her children. And it's this beautiful story of finding who you are. There's lots of talk about food. So if food is something that you like to read about, this is a great one. It talks about flavors, but also just the beautiful countryside of France is described a lot in this book. So if you're a big want to read about different parts of the world, this is also a good one. And you find other characters, and each one comes with their own fiery self or very guarded self. There's a bit of a love story in here as well. So if you want a little bit of a romance, it's here. It's not spicy or anything. So this is a really good one. I recommend to everybody. It's good. I highly recommend this one. My third recommendation is Shady Hollow. So this is a fiction book. It's kind of like a middle grade fiction, you would say. This is Shady Hollow by Juno Black, and actually there's two authors that write this story, but the story is cute. It's think cottagecore, think about little animal characters. It's a murder mystery. So if you like murder mysteries, that's very cottagecore feeling. This is your vibe. This story follows reporter Vera Vixen, she's a fox, and a murder has happened in their town of Shady Hollow. And they're trying to figure out what happened because there's never been a murder in this town. So the point of this book is to figure out who killed this character in their town because everyone seems to be very nice, but who could it be? And so we start discovering different things about different characters. And what I really love about this and that brings the spring vibe is it's very descriptive of spring feeling. Talks about flowers and blooming. And I mean, look at this cover. It's got that spring vibe. But if you want a little bit of murder mystery during your spring reads, this is a great one. My sister's actually reading it, so she has her bookmark in it. And she loves it, so that's really good. So we've got this one. This is a quick little short read for anyone wanting to get a quick book in for the spring. This is a great one. I highly recommend. Giving you a couple of fiction. We've got that children's fiction, the fiction, and then a middle grade murder mystery. So a good nonfiction. I don't have this one in as a physical copy. It's called Garden City by John Mark Comer. I'll put it up on the screen. This is a beautiful nonfiction book. It's a Christian nonfiction, but it's about so much growth and development as a Christ follower, and he uses beautiful representation of a garden, and he brings it back to the Eden story, and it's so beautiful and well written. Honestly, John Mark Comer is one of my favorite nonfiction Christian authors. His writing is so beautiful and very poetic, thought-provoking, and just makes you kind of sit a bit in it. So if that sounds like a book that you would love to read, I highly recommend it. Anyway, these are my book spring recommendations. If you have some that you want to recommend for me, please leave them in the comments below. I'm always trying to figure out what to read next. So let me know what you guys are reading as well. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.